Critical blast logistics, getting it done, getting it there. The world has got you down, a smile on your brow. Put a little madness in your life. If life made you unashamed and comics are your estate, put a little madness in your life. Come give your mind a cleanse, tune in with pops and friends. Just turn on your Roku box and then put a little madness in your life. Put a little madness in your life. Yeah, yeah. Put a little madness in your life.
The Immortal Mask, a 1970s superhero crime noir adventure, follows a retired soldier turned reporter who is given a coveted interview with a death row inmate. What he learns thrusts him into Atlanta's shadowy underworld. He'll have to use his military training to survive being hunted for possessing the information that could topple the city's most powerful ruling class. This is not a pre-order or a crowdfunding campaign. Get your books now at denali's.com.
At a cursed crossroads where souls collide, see the Prince of Darkness, see the Prince of Lies, while the world lies sleeping and the moon's aglow. They may meet with the devil, you know, when your heart is quaking and your soul can't rest. Open up the pages of the devil you know best. People face their demons as each tale unfolds, but the devil's in the details and their fate's been sold. Yeah, their fate's been sold and they're lost to hell. That's the deal you have to make with the devil you know well.
It's a Critical Blast podcast with special guest Ken Sagoes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Roland Kincaid, Dream Warrior, Dream Master himself, Ken Sagoes is with us tonight. Ken, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, it's I'm a little out of practice, as I told you. I haven't done streaming for a while here, so I'm getting my where were all my controls. There's our banner at the bottom of the page, folks. In case you haven't figured it out by now, Ken has a comic book, and yes, he was in those Nightmare on Elm Street movies that you're so familiar with.
Yes.
But there's a comic book. That's what we talk about
There's a
here, and
comic
it's
book. A comic book.
yeah. It's in the banner. It's in the description. It's the first thing you see. And guess what? You can hit that link, go to the webpage that we're going to show you, opens in a whole new window. You will not
Yes.
go away. You will hear every dulcet tone coming from Ken tonight here, um, and still be able to buy the comic book. So
Yes.
we want that to happen. This is a direct sale.
I
Ken,
need
please let me know if
that
you get
to
a sale.
happen.
Yes. We don't want to sit here and waste Ken's time, waste all your time. Get your wallets out and get a comic book here, because guess what? It's going to lead into something bigger. But before we get there, Ken,
Yes.
why? You know the comic book market. There's it'll break your heart. They say there's no money in it.
No money in what?
In comic books.
Sometimes money, it comes from the heart, and
Yes,
so,
sir.
and what I wanted to do is, this is the deal. I want to do something original. I want to do something fresh. And, they're doing all these remakes of horror and stuff like that. So, but I wanted to raise money to do a horror film, and I want to do a good horror film. So I knew that I was coming to the horror community, which is very, very supportive, and they're very giving. So, but I didn't want to just come and beg. I wanted to be able to give them something
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to show something. So I wrote a deluxe comic book. This is 32 pages, and it has some wonderful artistic work in there. Know if you can see it that well, but it was
I'll
done,
give you the big screen.
you know, um, just done very well. I think it's because of the light here.
Yeah,
It's
it looks good though. I gave you the big screen so we can see it better now.
Yeah, it's just some wonderful work here, and if you buy the comic book, I will sign it, personally sign it to you.
Oh,
And
that
you can go to the website, you can buy the comic book, or you can buy it, and I would personalize it to you. I would do this myself. There's no company doing this. This is me. And I'm trying to raise money to do a short film, which I hope to parlay into a feature film. And it's getting a lot of good respect. If you go to the website, not only would you read about the comic book, you can get reviews about the comic book all over the world, from Canada to the UK, I think even Australia, where they have read the comic book. And it's just a wonderful read. It's a wonderful story. And guess what? When we do the movie, I'm going to play the voice of Socrates. Gotta got me. Gotta got me.
Yeah, so the movie and the book, they're not just like, hey, I'm selling a book to make a movie. They tie into each other.
Yes, they tie into each other. This here is a villain he's different because it's an African gray parrot. And if you know anything about the bird world, the African gray parrot are the geniuses of birds, and they can make full sentences. Where this bird was cursed, back during the slavery. It was cursed and sent out to protect this voodoo king's son who had been captured. So
Okay.
over the centuries, he have seen all this hatred, and so they tried to get rid of it. But some college students dug it up, and now Socrates is out to take revenge on everybody. No one is safe. No race is safe. And guess where his home is? Is a tree that's right outside of a college campus.
Of course, because
So,
college students make the best victims.
yeah, but
Every horror movie knows that.
but he's not evil. He's revengeful, and he takes revenge on the descendants of those who mistreated people. And that's but he's loved. He's loved by children. He's loved by people with a heart. So he's not evil. He's revengeful, and you're going to love him because he can dance. So I got a lot of stories in there. What most people don't know is that I was a staff writer at Paramount before I did Nightmare on Elm Street, and then I went on to win a Cable Ace Emmy for writing a Disney film. So I am a writer. And I used to do
Give us
stand.
titles.
I,
Give us the titles. What are we looking for here when we go to look for your work?
On Promised Land was the Disney movie. I'm telling my age now. I worked on Laverne and Shirley at Paramount. I was a staff writer, and so I've been around. So this is my first comic book, and I promise you, it's going to be sequels after this. So when you buy this comic book, you're not just buying a comic book. You're going to be a part of the beginning of something, And I wanted to write something that was different. So this is a new age of comedy. And there's a post, I don't know if you can put that post up. The poster says, sorry, folks, there's a new terror in town. Because when Socrates get mad, his claws grow out, like Freddy Krueger.
Okay.
And he talks.
Yeah, because he's a
show
curse
this
parrot.
picture here. Show this picture here that you got up there on the screen.
I got it as big as I can get it.
I'm talking about, can you go up?
Yeah. Let me scroll up a little bit here.
Scroll it up. Scroll it down then. Scroll it down.
Okay.
Scroll it down.
I see the little black square here.
Yeah. Right there.
Oh.
You see
Yeah.
where his tatum grow and goes out. So that's who Socrates is. He's not to be played with.
Man, I'm scared of all birds because you think they're like soft little fluffs of feather. No, they got claws on their feet and one big extra one right there in front where they're looking at you.
Man, I didn't know so many people was afraid of birds.
I don't run around like Tippi Hedren, but I'm not going to pick one up, and not even like a robin or a sparrow. They're like they're armed.
Come on, man. I love birds. I love them, But
we have the Elk of Antioch in the chat. Says I always thought Laverne and Shirley was demonic. Now you know why.
But I came at the end of the show, so I brought some life to it.
There you go.
Of course, it got canceled the year that I came on.
What led you to? And we've seen horror represented through hockey masks, through toy dolls, through everything. What led you to use the parrot?
Because I wanted to do something fresh. I wanted to do something new. And I wanted to do something that almost everybody could relate to. Everybody can relate to a bird. Everybody can relate to two things, I think, and that's a bird and shadows. And a bird is everywhere. You're going to see a bird. But I wanted to make, this is like the first villain where a bird is in charge, where you got to watch out for the bird. And there's so many levels, so many roads that you can go down with this story. And like I said, I did not know that so many people did not like birds until I started writing about this bird.
Oh, yeah.
And I think what gave me this story is that a friend of mine had an African gray parrot. And I used to go over there and see that bird. I thought it was the cutest thing in the world. And when I walk in, all the bird would just do was just look at me. It wouldn't say nothing. It would just look at me. And I went to the cage one day and it just said,
yeah. I'd be like, I'm done.
Yeah. And so that night, there was this bird. It wasn't a gray parrot, but there was this bird in my window when I woke up, and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
White drawers didn't work that day. So, and I kept thinking, wow, let me put this story together. So that was kind of like the birth of it. And I named it Socrates because of the philosopher.
Yeah. I was going to ask about that, because that's an interesting name for a bird.
Yeah.
Especially for one that's, killing people, if you're going to relate it to to the philosopher. How does the philosophy of Socrates relate to vengeance on the descendants, visiting the sins of the father on people?
Because Socrates is very smart. He's very clever. And
Okay.
through the ages of time, he has watched people. He has studied people. And, on each one, when this voodoo king put this curse on, this spell on him to go guard his son, as each descendant passed, another descendant took over as his guardian until the last one realized that Socrates was getting too powerful and he was wanting to take revenge. And so the man that he loved, which was his father, which in that book where you see that his claws going through the sky, I think it said, "You miss my heart, father. No one would hurt Socrates again." And that's what starts him on that rampage.
Yeah. And as for you two, run.
Yeah, run.
Which isn't fair because he can fly, so he's going to outpace him.
Well, he
But
gave, so, and he's funny. He's funny, and he's clever, and so he's, like I say, his favorite line: "Gotta love me, more, gotta love me."
gotta love him. So does the comic book? How does that fit into the movie? The movie story, is it a prequel, or is it like
Same story, but it's just that it's drawn
you're going to
out.
expand it? Yeah.
It's expanded. Actually, I wrote the feature film before I wrote the comic book. So the feature film has already been written, and then I wrote the short film of it, and then I wanted to raise money to shoot the film, so I did a comic book because I think everybody loves comic books, and so
I do.
if you go to the horror conventions, if I'm signing it, that's $50 an item. So here you can order the comic book, and I will personally sign it, and it will cost you just $20 or $30 if you want me to personalize it. So you're getting a really good deal. And plus, if you want to get a poster with that, that's just $40. And I sign each one of them. So my signature, that will be over $100 that you can get for 30 or 40.
Okay, so
yes,
here the price is at the bottom.
Yeah,
it's $24 with the shipping included. That's the signature, and if you want it personalized, it's $29.
25.
Overseas shipping is $10. So
Yeah.
this is you're pricing yourself cheaper than some of the crowdfunded books I've seen on Indiegogo and Kickstarter, because they're usually kicking off at 40.
I realize how everything is going these days, and and I always believe if you got enough fans that will buy your book, that would cut out making it so expensive. You're not going to win anything by pricing something out of the range that people can afford. I'm just asking people that one day out this week, don't get no dessert. You can order the comic book and still have some money left over.
And you get to keep the comic book. You get to read the comic book over and over. So now, is your horror writing is it like modern horror, or do you dip back into the the good stuff that we had in the 80s, whereas like we're just slashing people up and the kids are running around?
It's not slashing people up. It's got several backstories in it. It's old school. The first horror legend that I met when I moved to California, I got a job at Universal Studios, and it was the great late, Mr. Alfred Hitchcock. And then after that, I met William Marshall, who played Blackula during the Black exploitation movies in the 70s. And then, of course, I stumbled across Wes Craven with Nightmare on Elm Street. So it has an old school flavor in it. As a matter of, well, I like to believe that I patterned this screenplay and this comic book off of the Dream Warriors. The young man that's playing me in the story is a takeoff of Kincaid.
Okay.
And that's what makes it special. It's not a blood thing. I'm very conscious of that. I wanted to write something that a young people could watch, that a family could actually go to the movies and watch. And they have a hero, which is that bird. Socrates is like a hero. I don't want to say he's evil. I just want to say he's revengeful. He don't mess with you until you mess with him.
Got it. So it's an interesting phrase, a family horror film,
Yeah.
because when I was watching horror films in the 80s and I guess into the 90s, you know, the Fridays, the nightmares, there was always two kids who were like, our friends are dying all over the place. What are we going to do? I know, let's have sex, which isn't something you see in a family horror film kind of thing.
No, no, it's a little more than that. It's a little more than that. It's a little history in that. It's a little um misunderstandings in that. So you got to realize that Socrates is representing the animal world too. He's representing. And he makes things. As a matter of fact, one of the stories in the comic, in the film is where he saves a kid. He actually saved him.
Okay, so he's like an anti-hero of sorts. He'll kill you if you mess with him,
Yeah.
but he'll help you if he deems that you need help in his eyes.
Yeah, he's a complex bird. He gets upset when he sees certain people, and then he has these visions because he can think about who their ancestors was. Okay, I
Okay.
can't get even with the ancestors, but I can get even with the descendants.
That that seems a little unfair, uh,
Yeah, yeah,
to the descendant.
because yes, because he's confused.
Okay.
He's confused. He's confused. He need counseling.
Yeah. Yeah.
but but
There's no bird therapist out there.
his love was that man Moses, who he looked up to as his father, who betrayed him. So when he was betrayed, he doesn't care about it. If he see a bad heart, he's going to go after them.
Okay. Um,
So, but
I know that
they're trying to stop him though. They are trying to stop him.
well, yeah, and you can't tell the end of the story here,
No.
because that's the
I
point
can
of
say
watching.
I will say the end of the story, you can almost tell he's coming back.
That's where I was going. I mean, we got more Socrates stories lined up after
Yes,
this.
yes. I wanted to write something where I can have my own sequels to it. You know.
Yeah. So
For
now
an
you wrote
example,
this.
there was a lady that really loved the story, and she sent me this.
Let me give you the big screen here again.
She sent me this.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
See, I thought maybe you just really liked gray African parrots and probably had one of your own.
No, 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 no. I don't have any birds. I don't. But I lived in a country where I knew a lot of birds, and I would go and try to feed them. But
Now
no,
those parrots, from what I understand, they can live a long time anyway. I mean, like we're talking like over 100 years.
some of them, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know what that particular bird is, but
He has a
I can
long.
totally believe that he's from 1850s and still here.
Yeah. But he's still here because there was a curse put on him. There was
Yeah,
curse
got that
put on him.
magical enhancement.
So that even give him a little more. He's already was a genius, but because there's a curse on him, he can do a lot of other things too.
Now, the artwork in it, is this, are you doing the artwork as well as writing it?
No, I can't draw a crooked line.
Okay.
No,
About like me.
I found a young artist who wanted to do a comic book, and this was his first one. So I worked with him, and I to get what I wanted. And we talked about the story, and so I was very much in on this comic book. I was very much in on how I wanted it to be, and how I want to see it. I came from, like I said, Nightmare, the Dream Warriors, and I wanted to. The one great thing about Dream Warriors that Chuck Russell did when we was filming Nightmare is that all of us kids, once we was cast, 2 weeks before we shot the first scene, we all got together. We had little parties and get-togethers. So when we got to the set, we wasn't just actors. We was friends that knew each other. And one
That's
of the first scenes that he shot was the scene where I was in the hospital, where we was all in the psycho ward, sitting around in a circle, and they were saying, and I was saying, ain't nobody gonna put me to sleep. Fuck you, you sit down.
yeah.
That was one of the first things that we shot. And because we knew each other, we truly invested in each other's love, and and cared for each other. And that was, and that's why I believe that Nightmare on Elm Street, there was a lot going on there. It wasn't just a slasher. You had the homeless there, you had the mentally unstable, you had the disability. Everything was represented
Yeah.
in the Dream Warriors. And I myself became the first African American to ever survive an international horror film and return to a sequel.
That's
You
right,
know,
because you came back for Dream Master,
in
and you
Dream
even did
Master,
a short.
yeah, so I always said they forgot to kill me. It's, oh shit, we didn't kill the black guy.
How did how did we miss him? They
Yeah.
turned the lights out. I don't know. I'm sorry. That was
So,
completely
but
bad.
but what I liked about that is that we all had an investment in each other. We was all friends. I don't think it was any of us actors on that set that did not like the other or had issues with the other. It was truly a family thing. Heather Langenkamp became like a big sister. Robert became like a big brother. Once they said action, once we cut, that's who we were. But when we said action, we went back to acting, and we helped each other out.
Do the does the cast still make appearances at conventions and such,
Yes,
or
yes, yes, we do. Yes, yes, we do. As a matter of fact, we let me get this here. They wait a minute, what happened? As a matter of fact, can you see this?
I can now? Yeah, I've seen that picture somewhere else.
Yes, yes, we get together, and they are backing me with my short film.
So will they be a part of the short film when it's ready to go into production?
Not a part of the short film, no. They're not a part of it. I may be able to use one person. I can't call their name yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want this to be a nightmare Dream Warriors film. I want it to be a horror film, but I do have three special guests that's in there, but I can't. They will be in the feature film, not the short film. My reason for doing the short film is to show that I can direct a horror film. And the
Right.
reason that I'm raising money, for those who know, I want to have some CGI in there. And CGI is expensive.
Yeah.
And what, for those who don't know what CGI is, I want Socrates to be a real bird that we got him doing these things. And
Okay.
I don't want the bird to look like somebody is sticking their hand up his ass talking. I want a real bird that flies, that you can see things. When the clogs grow, you see them grow out, and you can see the adventure. So I want to make everything real.
Okay.
Um,
But by real, he's still a computer generated effect.
yeah, but
It's going to be a practical effect.
yes, but I've also have found a bird and had some green screen. Took a picture with a bird in green screen. So
Okay.
some of it would be real birds, a real bird, and some of it would be special effect. Yeah, but because I have found a bird that I could shoot. He's a one was a very young bird, but then there's a 14-year-old bird which I like, and we can use him by shooting in front of a green screen. Then we can plant him in the movie.
So it'll be a mix of practical effects and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
CGI effects.
yeah,
Okay. I like that. I like practical effects more than CGI these days
yeah,
because
yeah.
CGI was like really cool at one point, and then I think a lot of producers are just like just CGI the thing, and they do it so quickly now that you can tell, and it takes you out of the film.
Yeah, and I don't want that. I want it's kind of like, I guess, Chucky. So
Yeah.
and let's look at it. When we did the Dream Warriors, had a lot of CGI in it. To me, Dream Warriors had a lot of special effects in there,
I had to.
and and so again, I just want, and I learned a lot by working on that set, and so by me doing the short film and showing people what I'm trying to do, I can tell you a lot, uh, but I want to show you that I can do this, not tell you, but show you that I could do this here. So I'm just asking, buy the comic book. I'm going to sign it, and I promise you, you're going to love it. You're going to say,
Right.
where's part two? Where's part three?
So the order of events here, folks, is the comic book funds the short film, um, or and in a couple of weeks, months, whatever, you're actually going to kick off a crowdfunder for the short film project or for the feature film project.
For the short film project, you
Okay,
know,
making sure I keep this straight here.
because I want to show with the special effects. That's very
All right.
important to
Are
show.
you going to Kickstarter or Indiegogo for that? Probably
Indiegogo.
Kickstarter.
Indiegogo.
Indiegogo.
Yeah,
Okay.
Indiegogo.
Uh, I know there's another one. Fund My Comic, which just started up Fundiverse because people wanted to do more than comics now. They wanted to do movies and books and other things. So I know the owner. I can get you a good deal on how much money you can keep.
Hey, I will talk about it.
Okay, I'll hook you up tonight.
Especially since I want to do a part two of the comic book.
Sounds perfect.
Because I think I need to concentrate on this one first. And and there are people that's reading the comment and they're posting about it, and that's what I like. If you go to the website, which you did, you can see some reviews from, I think, from Canada, from UK, all over the world, for the few
Yeah,
people
they're down here on this page here.
Yeah.
People who've been reading the book already. So the book. That's another thing that people need to know is the book's done.
The book is done.
Yeah.
It's waiting for you to bring it home, to bring your own little copy home.
Folks, hit the buy link at the bottom of the page.
And this is the wonderful thing about it. When you buy the comic book, I'll sign it and I'll send it out. So that's not me calling a company to send it out. I am personally sending it out because I want to be involved, and I'm trying to save all that I can to make this short film.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. And okay, folks, I've scrolled to the point on the screen where you want to hit. Again, there are two options here. You can just have him sign it because you're going to put it on eBay and you're going to want your name on it. But for an extra $5 there, he'll sign it personal to you.
And can we show them some of the posters that they can get?
Yeah, tell me where the posters are. Is there a link to it?
Yeah,
here they are.
Yeah.
Further down. Oh, look at this. Oh, these are cool.
And if you,
So that's the first two.
I think if you click on it, it'll widen. I don't know if you can do that. Yeah.
Oh, it's really big. Uh, so I'm taking it back down to this size here.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go, folks. There's poster number 1.
Yeah.
And I think I got to go back. We'll hit poster number 2.
Yeah.
That one's scary because he's dripping the blood from those talons. I told you those talons are just little.
And all these are brand new from artists, from wonderful. Some of them are award-winning artists who donated this for me.
Terror Unchained. You gotta love me. Nice silhouette against the moon there, and then of course this is the cover of the book, right?
Right.
I'm digging that cover because he's kind of like he's looking back at you over his shoulder. He's like, yeah, you can. That is some cool stuff. You've been busy, not just with the comic book though. I mean, I looked up your IMDb to find out, where you've been at. You've been all over the place, and like I said, you just recently did another nightmare short. Hashtag Stop the Nightmare.
Yeah, that was a little something that I did for someone. They asked me to do it because you know what? I believe that where I am is because of fans. And so when a fan asks me to do something, if I have the time, I will do it. And that's what I did,
That's what I love.
And I don't believe that you get so big that you can't do that because for me now, I realize that whatever mountain I'm on and how high I'm flying, it's really from you. You're the wind beneath my wings, and so if I can, yes, I will do it. So I did this for someone. It was funny. It was one short that I was on the way home. That I talked to a young man. He was in high school, and he asked me would I do his short film to help him. And I said, yeah. I didn't know he was serious. So the next year, he told me he was doing his short film, and I actually flew to that town and did his short film.
And it was it was a nightmare film. They did their representation of Freddy, and you were Roland Kincaid and playing the part.
So,
I love those kind of interactions.
so I believe in that. So yeah, I'm all over the place because I enjoy what I do.
And folks, if you scroll even further down the page, you'll find those comic books signed and the posters signed. You can bundle them up. $35. Okay, $35, folks, is normally what you're going to pay for your typical Indiegogo comic book. Here you're paying $35. The shipping is only $4. Shipping is my business. I know what I'm doing. I would not ship a comic book for less than 10. So because I don't know where you're finding the money here, Ken, because like, look, it's the Gemini mailer is 80 cents. The bag is 36 cents. The label is 3 cents. The postage is $3.92. The handling, that's my money. That's $2. And the weight of the package, well, don't worry about the weight of the package. You've already got the postage on it. It comes to about $8 and change already.
It does. But so how I do that, so everyone would know, is that I do it myself. I'm up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning doing it myself. I am writing out labels myself. I am stacking it myself and doing it, because I know how it is, and so I want them to know that I'm sending you a comic book from my heart. And that's the best way that I can do it. So yeah. Now,
that personal touch is going to
that
mean so much to
personal
people.
touch, but now.
That is the bottom of the website. I am done scrolling. Gosh, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I could be talking to you about here while we've got the opportunity? I mean, so when you say that you've got the option for Socrates to come back, do you have the seeds of those stories already in mind, or?
Yes, I did. I also planted them within the comic book. If you read the comic book, you can almost tell that, oh, he's coming back because of this. So, but you got to read the comic book and the screenplay. He you cannot have a villain vigilante like this and kill him in one movie.
Oh, you can't kill them in 7 sometimes.
No, no, right. So you right. I want people to have an option. You know what I want to be able to? I want to be able to say there's Freddy, there's Jason, there's Michael, there's Chucky, and there's Socrates.
Yeah, I like
And
it. It's
I,
a very original concept.
and I think that one comic book would say sorry if you could see it, which I can only have 100 of those because I got to change some stuff around. Because when you see him standing on, scroll up, look, the first comic book, right there, the first one, the first one.
Okay. Did I
Let's
miss it?
let's hit the first one. No, the first comic book, that
Okay.
one right there.
There it
Number
is.
one.
Sorry,
Number
folks.
one. Yeah. Yeah.
Are these all comic book covers?
No, these are all posters.
Okay.
So what I'm just saying is that if you can see Socrates is on top of Jason, Chucky,
Yes.
Freddy, and that's why he say, "Sorry, folks, but there's a new terror in town."
Yeah.
Because
That's.
I want them to
I
have
did see
something fresh.
we yeah, because there really hasn't been. I guess the most recent thing that was unique has been the Saw franchise, and I don't know if you've watched much of that, but
And they keep making remakes.
yeah, remakes.
The Saw is in there too, so they, you know.
All right, well, Ken, I don't want to keep you any longer than we have to, but
I appreciate it, and whoever listening, I please hope that you can go and buy a comic. If you just buy a comic book, but you're gonna love everything. And I'm telling you, I'm sitting down, I'm signing them myself, and I'm sending them to you, and I'm giving
And
a
folks,
wonderful deal. Wonderful.
if you're watching the replay of this, so you just come in later, you didn't catch it live. Sorry, you could have been in the chat asking questions.
One more thing. This
Yes.
is a good one. For the first 100 people who buy just a comic book, I'm gonna have a raffle for the first 100 people, and I'm going to give out this. I'm going to sign this myself. It's a Socrates bronze
It's metal, yeah.
thing. I'm going to sign it. Now, I'm going to give out just not one, two things. I'm also going to include with that
Oh,
a Freddy Krueger mask. I'm going to sign it here, and you can get the rest of the cast to sign it. So for the
That's
first 100 people, you will go into a raffle, and I'm going to raffle it off. So when you send
okay.
me, when you buy it, just in the notes, just say raffle, and I will put you in a raffle, and I will tell you when I'm going to pull from the raffle.
That's fantastic. So yeah, Wayne Klingman in the chat. Yes, that's what we're all saying looking at those things.
Yes, let me hold it up. You get this and this. I'm gonna have a raffle. I'm gonna have a raffle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Random drawing of the first 100 people. So
First 100.
as if you needed more incentive, folks, to get in there and get this comic. All right. Ken, we're going to let you go for the night, but
Thank you guys. I do appreciate it. So please go there and do what you do for me.
absolutely. Right. We thank you for your time, sir, and best of luck. Hopefully, when you kick off the crowdfunder for the movie, you'll come back here and
Anytime.
We'll talk in. Hang on for after the show. I'm gonna pick your brain real quick about somebody I want to put you in touch with, and then we'll see you later.
And
Everybody in the
all
chat.
here, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Everyone, thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody.